Evening all.
Good evening.
Hope you can hear
How's
us all
everyone
right.
doing tonight?
Hi Yvonne.
Good
Hi
evening.
Catherine. Hi Pater.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, hold on. So, yeah, let's go over last night. First of all,
Oh, it's been
let me just do the disclaimer first.
yeah.
We are a topical discussion channel, and any discussions are for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are based on personal experience and research they may have conducted. However, they are simply personal opinions and should be treated as such. Okay, so yeah, how's
Yeah.
everyone doing?
We've got all the legalities out the way. But did everyone get a chance to see the documentary? It was on last night on Channel 5, full of adverts.
Oh,
Did
it
you
was.
get a chance to see it, everyone in chat? Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to play it because if we play it, it's just triggering instant action from YouTube for some reason, isn't it? With copyright.
Yeah, I've even tried to screen record it for someone that doesn't live in the UK because they can't get Channel 5, and when you're screen recording it, afterwards when you go to play it, it's just a black screen. So I don't know what they've done with it. But yeah,
Yeah, I think
even
they've
a
encrypted it or
screenshot,
something.
yeah, even a screenshot on it, it's just black. So they've really copyrighted it in every way. No, we're not playing it.
We can't play. What we can do, we can obviously talk about what was featured in there, which is the main thing, really. We'll go into the nitty gritty. To be honest with you, I wouldn't waste your time even watching it. It was an absolute heap of crap. It was just the media, I think like the wider media, the general media, just trying to get their bit in, and it wasn't factual. I don't think you'd have learned anything new about the case, and there was a lot of disinformation. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
What did you
Well,
think, Michelle?
after watching it, when you're watching it, I was getting so annoyed watching it. Um, so afterwards, you get time to process everything. And to be honest, I come to the conclusion that it was just all about the media trying to clear their name. It had
Yeah,
nothing to do about this documentary. Um, like what they were showing like they was going to show new footage. There was nothing that I've not seen before. Um,
because even the footage was wrong. They weren't even filming it in St. Michael's. It was filmed in a different place, and it has a different bench, and it had this actress who has platinum blonde hair, who was supposed to be Nikki. She wasn't even wearing a hat or anything.
no, well, Nikki wasn't wearing a hat that day, was she?
I'm not sure. But
No.
they didn't actually. They didn't refer back to any of the actual witnesses in the documentary. They didn't explain what the witnesses saw that day either.
Yeah, but no, I
They
was
didn't go
so
through any of the
annoyed watching
inquest details.
it. Yeah, it's like all the footage that they were showing when, like, obviously, I'm guessing it was either from a drone or a helicopter. The river was flooded, absolutely flooded.
Yeah.
So
It looks to me like they have loads of bank footage from when the river's flooded, and they've used that footage of the river when it's flooded as river allegedly at the time that Nikki went missing. But on the 27th of January in 2023, that river was not flooded. It was frosty, it was colder, but there was no flooding. It was actually, we'd had quite a low level of rainfall that year.
yeah, we've had quite a lot this year, haven't we? But every
This
time, I don't know
year's
if you
a
noticed,
lot different.
every time they was using the footage from last year when Nikki went missing, they were so close that you couldn't see the river at its normal level. The only time you could see the river was when they was using the footage from the floods. So that straight away I was like, well, what are they trying to prove there? And then I did laugh at one point when they showing the whole river when it was really flooded and moving fast because of the floods. And then they were saying, well, how could anyone drown in a river when it's not that dangerous? Or something along those lines. And it was like, you're showing floodwaters, you're saying that?
It made no sense. There was like no effort made into, you know, they never filmed on location. You know, and then they used a load of bank footage, as we said, from the helicopters, and and it was just hypocritical what they were saying about it all. You know, here's this river when it's its most flooded time, when Nikki would have the common sense to stay clear of it when it's like that, wouldn't she? Because she knew the area well. But the day that she went out walking, that the river was actually just at a very normal height for that time of year, and definitely not flooded.
No, exactly. Yeah,
You know, we were there on the 27th of January this year. We went to pay our respects to Nikki, and we also got to see what the river was like, and it's a lot deeper than the footage that we were shown from like this time last year. You know, the first day I got there, I couldn't see the weir.
Yeah, the weir was completely underwater.
Yeah.
So it was very flooded. Gone. Yeah. Not as flooded as it was as they showed in the documentary, but it was still very high on the first day.
It was high, wasn't it?
But
then it dropped down. It dropped down really, really quickly. It went right down. You could see the weir again. And then later on that day, it went back up again.
Yeah. But you could see it being flooded.
Something to do with tides, I don't know.
But you could see where it'd been flooded because you could, like, you know, when water's moving, so it had all the debris on the side, where
because all the grass was pushed in one direction, wasn't it?
And where Nikki got found, recovered from, it didn't even look like the same as it did last year. It was quite a sad sight to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to go there, wasn't it?
Mm.
It was really, really sad to see that area. And then we also put flowers on Nikki's grave, and that was, she's had a new gravestone put up, and it's beautiful. It was, you know, family have obviously thought about it, and you know, we put some flowers there, and that was quite emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah. What other things did I?
Yeah, but yeah, it was a different bench, New Brunswick, wasn't it? The bench that they used was a completely different style. You know, it was not the bench that was in St. Michael's. It looked nothing like it.
Even when they was doing like the footage of the person walking a dog, even that was a completely different area. I can understand what they was trying to do with that, but to me, it just come across that they was just trying to clear the name.
Different river, because it was wider, wasn't it? It was like twice as wide as what the wire is in St. Michael's.
I don't know if you can see this picture that's up on screen. This is what we took when we went up there. There's a lot more signs up now about keeping your dog on the lead, that your dog can harm farm animals.
Oh yeah, and apparently we went there on the 27th, but just before the 27th, they had cattle grazing in that field. They were using it. I think it was for cows. It looked like there was some cow pats or some manure type stuff in that field. But the livestock had been moved on by the 27th when we got there.
Yeah, so these signs read, your dog can scare or harm farm animals. Stay safe, use a lead around livestock. but release your dog if chased by cattle.
Oh my
They're
God.
literally everywhere, absolutely everywhere. There was 3 on that gate, kissing gate, as you walk in. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw they were littered everywhere. I remember seeing. I didn't pay a lot of attention because I just read a bit about the livestock, and then I looked around the fields and I couldn't see any livestock. There clearly wasn't any there. And then I got talking to a person about the sign, and they said, "Oh yeah, the livestock have been moved on now." So it was because I had my 2 dogs with me, and they had the right rare old time. They loved it in that field, didn't they? My dogs were running up and down that field. They were absolutely shattered when they got home.
yeah. Charlotte, yep, we saw him as well. I can't comment on stuff because we do have a case with the police open against him for harassment.
Yeah.
So I can't go into details with that, but yeah, he was trying to follow us and take pictures, and the fact that he's mentioned our kids in it now is going to take it a lot more serious. So that's all I can say on that, I'm afraid. But yeah,
He's a bully. He's a bully. As a lot of people have a lot of issues with him. It's not just our channel. But yeah, at the end of the day, when children come into it, the police will be all over it like a rash.
yeah. But yeah, these signs were everywhere, even outside the caravan park. So there's more signs that have gone up now, which I found quite bizarre. Not just one. And one of them literally was on 2 posts as you walk through the kissing gate, and it looked like someone has pulled that down. So it's all broken.
Yeah, a lot of them have been ripped down, haven't they? As
Yeah,
well, looks
yeah,
like some of the dog walkers might have got annoyed with the solar signs.
yeah.
Because
If I
they've
no,
been
no,
ripped
but
down.
where the dog walkers walk their dogs, it's a public way.
Yeah, it's a public right away. It's a public field, isn't it? I
He
like
recognised
I
our
get
children. Hold on, Jen. He
if there
recognised
is
10.
livestock, you do have to be careful with your dogs,
Yeah,
and it's just a sort of common sense thing, isn't it? Really, that
yeah,
you obviously keep your dog on a lead if there's cows in a field, and then if the cows are not in a field, you can let your dogs run free and stuff, and you just find somewhere else to let your dogs
yeah.
go free, isn't
Right,
it?
hold on, Jen.
But
Charlotte, I just want to say on this, right? He saw our kids 8 months ago for a short period of time. He recognised our kids, but he didn't recognise the adult. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? And he doesn't need to bring them into this. Leave the kids out of it. So that's the last thing I'm going
yeah,
to say on this, because I am very, very annoyed about that. And the police will be dealing with him. So,
yeah.
hi,
And
Funky.
then right, Chris has obviously gone to the area for whatever reason he's got for being there, and it's a public place, and we can't stop him going there. And the same way we've got every right to go there for our own reasons, which in our reasons were to go and pay our respects to Nikki and to go and put some flowers on her grave. And we were there, and we recognised him. We recognised him. We know he was at the inquest. We recognised him from back then, and so as soon as we saw him, we knew exactly who he was. And he's writing horrible stuff about almost anyone that's on YouTube at the moment. There's been so many people who've got YouTube channels that are covering Nikki's case that are just getting it. So, but when children are involved, and you're mentioning children, that takes it to a whole new level, because that potentially endangers children, and anyone that does that is automatically, in my case and my friends' cases, going to get reported to the police.
Hi, Revy Green. Hi, Jess. So yeah, let's get back to the documentary anyway, because we've gone back
Sorry,
off.
sorry.
No,
I got a bit nanky about that. I just said a bit
I
more
don't
than I
know
should.
if you any of you all noticed last night when watching it, because a lot was getting put out, but with when they were showing social media posts and they showed Curtis Media's footage of when he was at the caravan park, they had blanked PF's face out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, it just looked like a sort of body look. You couldn't tell if it was male or female or anything, could you?
No.
He did
Yeah,
a lot of
so
that.
I noticed that as well, which I thought was a bit strange because they showed.
Martin, I wish you'd come along as well. It might be nice to meet you, Martin. I know you've been watching a case.
Yeah, they had.
We didn't want to make a big issue about going out. It was private. It was between. I live locally, as in like an hour away, and I'm really good friends with Joe and Michelle. It's just a chance for us to catch up, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
And for
well, we done
all
some
our kids
walking
get
though,
on
didn't
really
we?
well, and so we did some other stuff as well, and and then sadly we encountered that person, but it was lovely. It was lovely to go there, and be able to pay our respects. Took her a nice bunch of flowers down and everything, and because my heart breaks for the family is going through hell. They've lost like a mother, a daughter, sister, partner. They're all suffering.
Jess, I hope you had your ladies had the dog on the lead. We did both have both dogs on the lead.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, we
They
weren't
were on the
risking.
lead. I let them have a run on the field when they were well away from everywhere else, didn't I? When I took them up to right up to the end fields, and but my dogs are trained to voice commands anyway. They come straight back and they're not straight on a lead, so we didn't have any bad encounters with other dogs.
Yeah. But it was nice to see the area this time of year, because obviously when we went last time it was summer, so everything was like the trees had all the leaves on. So it was actually quite surprising, really, to see how much you can see when the trees haven't got leaves on. The grass is pretty much flat to the ground. So it's quite surprising how much you can actually see this time of year. So it was nice in that sense to get the feel of the place. So yeah, it was straight horrible. It wasn't nice being there this time of year, but we did throw some yellow tulips into the river for Nikki.
Yeah, we put some tulips in the water, and then we at twilight we lit some candles. I bought floating candles made out of beeswax, and I thought I'll try and put them in the river, but like one of my really clever ideas. Anyway, obviously north of England, it blew. You can't keep candles alight in water.
No, it was
So
too windy.
what we did was, I'm
up.
so clever, me, aren't I? Come up with this great idea. So
it was nice weather.
But we made them into a heart for Nikki, didn't we? And then we did an end for Nikki as well.
Yeah. Did you also see in the inquest last night? I don't know if anyone else picked up on this, but every time they tried approaching the idea of third party involvement, the guy that kept appearing behind the bench was all dressed in black.
Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, there was the man in black was characterized, but he was like unspoken of, though. Nobody actually mentioned him, did they?
No, but
they kept
they
saying
just
like,
kept doing
no
it.
third party.
Yeah, it was every time they mentioned about it, this man in black appeared, and it's like, why are you bringing a man in black into it? And you're you're moaning about the social media and the speculations and stuff like that, but then you're literally doing that yourselves.
Because I was confused. I don't know if it was just like they were dramatizing what happened to Nikki by having actors, or was it like a replay thing like Crime Watch do, or was it a documentary? But no, I don't think it fitted into any of those boxes. But it was really piss poor what they produced. It wasn't helpful. It wasn't factual. They didn't give out any facts from the inquest or from the cop report. It was just a load of journalists giving their own weird opinions.
Yeah, Martin.
And
Yeah, that is what I found.
Sorry.
Yeah, Martin, I was just going to say, you can see the full river from the Stour and all points of the river. I found that very surprising because when I was walking round Fire Hughes past the weir, I could see the whole river and the bench from quite far away. So from as you come round past the weir, around the corner, before you can literally see the bench from there. I did take some photos. I have to put them up. I was surprised how much I could see. So I could see you guys all stood at the bench as I was walking around. And then as I got closer...
You got around the area called Hughes, didn't you?
Yeah. And then as I got closer to the stile, I could literally see the river on my right the whole time, the whole river. There was no, like, obviously not right up at the edge where it meets the grass, but I could literally see the whole river. So if anyone was floating down, you would see them. If anyone had fallen in, you will still see them from far away.
Oh,
because I could see you guys at the bench.
If you were on Hughes, the area called Hughes, and somebody had fallen in the river, you could not possibly not see them. You'd have to see them because they'd be like right in front of you.
And you would see a dog running around.
Yeah.
So she did see.
You've literally just got a big tree. You've got the tree trunk there, haven't you? Which blocks the view of the bench. But you could, if a dog was running around that area, you'd see the dog. But it's downhill, isn't it? Where the stile is downhill.
Yeah,
and then and you have to go uphill a little bit to get to the bench, and then uphill a little bit further to get to the kissing gate, and then you go uphill a little bit more, and then there's actually a farmer's gate, big enough to fit a tractor through. One of these big metal gates.
I did get a really good photo from.
Have you got that panoramic one that you taught?
Yeah. You put that panoramic one up. So I took a real good photo.
I see why Nikki goes there. It's so beautiful.
From the stile, so you could. And I've done it panoramic, so you can see everything. Okay. Just wait for it to come up. But so I really still cannot understand why PF didn't see Willow running around until after she had tied her dog up and climbed over the stile.
It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? The thing about PF's statement is she kept changing it, didn't she? That was the issue, is that she said one thing and then she changed it all, and her time scale was different as well. At the beginning, it was it was a good sort of 15 minutes earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this is the panoramic view. Okay. So you can't really see the bench. You can sort of see it. It's a bit different on photo than when you're actually stood there, but the bench isn't as clear. Okay, but you could really see the slope down to the river. As you can see, the river is quite flooded here. It's very high. You can see the kissing gate.
Yeah, is that the? I should try to work that one out now. Is that as we're walking up the path?
Maria, no, we didn't. This is me walking round the queue, so I'm at the stile here. Okay.
You're at the style. That's not the panoramic one, is it?
Yeah, because the
Is it? Is
kissing
that?
gate's there on the right, left. Sorry. But can anyone see? Right, I've done something on this video. Not obviously, I haven't edited anything. I've just I've placed something somewhere. Can anyone see anything?
I'm having one of them days. But hi, Danvers, by the way.
I want to see if anyone can. If look at this photo, see if there's anything you can see. Yvonne, harness. Yeah. We didn't have as big as harness as Willow's. We only had a small one, but I've just placed something on the floor to see whether you could see it.
Because yeah, you see the brick building, can't you?
Mm. But look how high that river is.
Is that me with the dogs?
No, that's not you.
That is me with the dogs.
It's your
That's
dogs,
someone...
but it's not you.
Oh, it's someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did.
My dog's hearts will go with anyone.
Yeah, so I just put something on the floor to see whether you could see anything there. But when we ordered it, it come a lot smaller than what I expected, so it wasn't as big as bulky.
Ah, yeah.
It's just interesting, and I did also leave a phone on the bench, but you can't see that because the wooden style blocks quite the bench off.
You can't really see the bench at all.
I want to talk about Roger, sorry, not Ron. I don't know if you remember when he done his Sky News interview, well, not interview, but he was there at the same time. He was there before 9:30, wasn't he? When we was driving into St Michael's that day, again we saw him walking past the garage. Again, it was before 9:30. So I believe Roger's like a creature of habit. Thank you. My Bible went black then. He's a creature of habit, so he always walks his dog at the same time. So why on the day that Nikki went missing was he not there till after 9:30? Because with Sky News, he was there before 9:30, and when we saw him that day, he had already done his walk, so he was walking home.
That is really strange, to be fair, isn't it? That because his routine is he gets up every morning and takes the dog out at the same time. He said that, didn't he, during his interview? He had his routine.
Yeah. So it was quite interesting to see him already leaving, and it was already, I think it was like 9:20. So, and he was already on his way home. So it does seem strange that he was there later on the day that Nikki went missing.
Yeah, it's... Oh, I'm just going to have to go a second. My dogs are coming here and are growling at each other. Sorry.
That's right. So, yeah, but when I took this panoramic view, because I know, like, on X, it had been, like, there was a photo from up behind the tree showing that PF would have seen a lot more, which is different because when you're stood up behind the tree, it's higher ground. So you have to climb over the stile and walk up. So I wanted to try and get this view. So it literally shows you what you would see when you're stood at the stile. So hopefully that will give a lot of people more insight into that. Have we got a photo a bit further away
From the style.
We'll try and get one of further away so we can show you how much you can still see. The journey from
He has another panoramic one that was looking from the other angle, wasn't it? It was looking from inside the field to where you could see the stile, the kissing gate, and then the farmer's gate. That was a big long one, wasn't it?
Yeah, let me just find that,
because that's quite a good one as well. But yeah, we were going around, and it was beautiful, sunny day, wasn't it? As well, it was freezing. It was absolute. Oh my gosh, you needed to wrap up, but it was really nice and pleasant. You can see why Nikki goes there.
Yeah.
But
and when
no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that Nikki would have just fallen into that river. Because it's pretty obvious where the risks are, and if you walk that way for 12 years, I could just sort of get a feeling of her telling her kids, like, be careful there, as a mother would warn the child, as I was warning my children to be careful as well. We all had a bit of a slip, didn't we? In the same place
when we was lighting the candles. Joe actually
I slipped first earlier on in the daylight. I didn't fall, but I had a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah, Joe actually did slip, and I literally threw my phone, but she didn't slide down. She just fell on the ground.
Oh, bless her. That was a corker, that was. And then my daughter fell as well, didn't she?
Yeah. She still it still hurts. But yeah.
It still hurts. She proper went down, bless you, Joe, didn't you? I'm not surprised it was hurting. Oh, it's really at night when you can't see where's muddy, I think it's worse. But there's just this one spot that we all seem to catch us all, which was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone would ever fall in the river from doing that, though. Let's make that point clear as well. You'd fall, but you wouldn't go down into the river. You're further away from the river.
Jesse's got a new dog, so he was actually walking his new dog. Still had his big stick with him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a video with all these images because I can't find that one at the moment. There's so many on there. But between the iron bridge and the brick bridge as well, where it had been flooded, there was 2 massive trees that had been caught up in the underneath, in between the arches, so they haven't got floated underneath the brick bridge at the moment. They're still stuck there.
Just saying, Amber's right about AMF didn't go to the inquest.
No. Did anyone else see anything on that not inquest, documentary last night? But
yeah, what were your thoughts on it all?
So where we haven't been on for so long, we've got so much to talk about.
There's we haven't been on for ages, have we? Because of last time we was on, Jo was really, really poorly. She's got the 100-day cough, and I think we've all had it, haven't we, over Christmas and stuff?
Yeah.
We just sort of got over it, and then
Jo's still coughing now.
But yeah, we wanted to go to St. Michael's. That was important for us to do, and then obviously for us lot to meet as well, because it's nice to sort of catch up, isn't it, and just sort of see each other in person. And the kids all get on. Your kids were amazing with my dogs as well. That was really nice.
Yeah, one of them knackered the boy out, didn't he? He was like, I can't walk her anymore.
Oh yeah, I give you the lead back, didn't he? Goes, oh, you can have the lead back now. I was like, okay. But I think my dogs, I've never seen my dogs so tired. They were like, oh, even like they were sat in a car trying to sit up, and then they were just like closing their eyes and falling over us. They were so tired.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, New Brunswick. Yeah, you know, we've all had this horrible cold that's been going around, and then when we were all starting to feel better, it was getting closer to the anniversary of Nikki's death, so we didn't want to come on. We wanted to just give that space. Plus we was travelling up to St Michael's, so we just kind of wanted to give it that space. And then after last night's documentary, we all woke up today and was like, no, we've got to go live.
Yeah, we just felt it was the right time to go live to talk about the documentary while it's fresh in people's heads. But I was just so disappointed. I don't know about you guys, but I was watching it, and every time there were like 5 sets of adverts, and every time it went to advert, I had to like restart the whole thing and then you know, fast forward it to the next part, because it was just getting a blank screen. I don't know if anyone else had that issue.
No,
I was watching it on Channel 5 Live.
Yeah, no, ours seemed to be working fine. I didn't have no problem with that.
I think I was having to watch the adverts, like 2 sets of adverts. It was, it's driving me nuts. And then just the people that they had speaking as well. Like there was a lot of people I didn't really recognise, or some of them were like really insignificant.
Yeah.
I was like, who are they?
And they were saying
they were talking about Nikki's, you know, the police would disclose Nikki's medical condition. You know, they were talking about female issues, weren't they? And you know, the police should never have mentioned that, which obviously that's some I'm glad they brought that up, and I'm glad that did get aired, because that was a massive big thing for me, the fact that they did that to Nikki, because that disgusted me beyond words.
Oh, exactly.
You should never ever have discussed anything like, you know, calling her, she's basically getting labelled as an alcoholic, and these menopausal women, you know, they're just going to go off and do random things, you know, and I take that very, very personally. I was born the same age as Nikki, and you know, it's hard, it's horrible what you have to go through, but you know, I speak on behalf of every woman at some stage, but you've either been through it or you'll go through it, and it's not nice, and it shouldn't be used as an excuse by police. What were they going to say about a man? Are they going to say, well, he's going through a midlife crisis, and you know, he's become suicidal because of it?
Yeah,
it's just wrong.
Yeah, and they've also mentioned that PA was the last person to see Nikki alive. Well, what about the kids? She dropped the kids off at school. What about all those witnesses that were at the inquest stating that they saw Nikki that morning in the field? So why they?
Because in the inquest, there were about I think there was about 3 people that actually witnessed, like, physically saw Nikki. You know, they spoke to her at the school, spoke about a dog, and then or saw her just in the fields walking. There was about 3 or 4 different people saw her, and none of them got a mention on the programme.
Yeah.
So I'd say it was very poorly researched. And then the way it was filmed, it wasn't filmed on location, which was confusing, because they filmed next to a river that was bigger. And I just generally, I think they're doing it for attention. I think they just put this documentary out there.
It's to clear their name.
It's exactly the money. You know, look at how many adverts were in it as well. Look at, you know, and you know, they want everyone, you know, who's interested in Nikki's case to watch it, and then we have to sit through 5 sets of adverts, or in my case 10 sets of adverts, because I had to watch them twice because of whatever glitch was going on with my system. It's down to money. you know, and it's grifting.
Just.
It's just really sad. I thought they could have made a really good and impartial video about what happened to Nikki, and
Jess, what time did we see Roger?
put a lot of thought into it, and it could have been a great video and looked at different perspectives as well. You know, because they didn't really mention like YouTube either, did they? They mentioned, you know, the TikTokers, they got a mention. Yeah. The naughty TikTokers. But they didn't talk about any of the other theories that people have, or why people have got the concerns, and why there's this distrust in the police. They didn't seem to nail that down or understand it. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I'm just checking to see what time we saw Roger, because I messaged you saying we saw him.
New Brunswick said you have respect for Nikki, so not watched this. If I'm honest, if you haven't seen it, I don't think you're missing anything. I wouldn't recommend you watch it. You're just giving them adverts and likes and watches for something that is purely scandalous. I'm just reading Susan Scott Reese. As far as I'm concerned, the river and the bench is a decoy, and the Channel 5 documentary is based on assumptions, no evidence. Agree, 100%.
Jess, we saw Roger at 9:18 and he was already walking home.
Susan Scott Reese, I just agree 100% now. You know, it's missing from home. Eyewitnesses are unreliable as well. It's true, though, about eyewitnesses. It's been proven, hasn't it, that eyewitnesses aren't always reliable, and they can get the times mixed up. And there's been people in Nikki's case that were originally eyewitnesses and have pulled out for whatever reason, whether or not they think they've got the days mixed up, and they didn't give any evidence. And then there are some people that just completely gave different stories, which is concerning in my book. I find that worrying. I usually, if I've seen something, I would be able to give you a decent recollection.
Yeah,
you know, so it's something as big as random as a person going missing. I think that would be quite imprinted in my mind. I would know that.
Yeah, no. I'm just looking at my notes that I've written down what we got to talk about. I was trying to remember bits of the inquest as I was going. They mentioned about, not the inquest, the documentary. They mentioned about the inquest, didn't they? And they mentioned that the inquest went into more detail than any other inquest.
Yeah.
I can't see where they were coming from with that, because
I took that to mean like a lot of the time an inquest, you might not even get any family members at an inquest. It might just literally be the coroner and maybe some medics, and it could just be the coroner just reading the reports of some medics who can't be there at the time. Because I'd been to an inquest and it was just us, like the family, just sat in rooms. So there was like it was 4 of us sat in a room with the coroner, and we video linked to a doctor who, because he had to get taken off life support. But so that was, sorry, I'm just trying not to, I hate talking about this, but but I think that's what they mean is like this inquest was quite big.
Yeah.
In terms of like the number of witnesses that got called.
But they didn't go into detail that like there was still a lot of unanswered questions after this inquest.
Yeah, well, when you scrutinise the inquest, which we're in the middle of doing at the moment, you know, there's no representation of a person who actually finding Nikki and how she was found. You know, what was, you know, it was just like she got found and that's it, and then she got taken to the lab, and then it's a lab result. So and I think that's a failing, you know, because I think you need to understand how she was found and where she was found to really fully understand what happened to her. because there's so many question marks on Nikki's case. Am I just being sort of over fussy? I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe I am.
When we was there as well, we actually saw one of the environmental health ladies. She come down and to check the river temperature.
Yeah.
So she checked the river temperature.
So it was 7.3 degrees.
7.3 degrees that day. And she took some water away with her as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she went there and because we were just talking. I said, I want to get the. I just said, didn't I want to check the water temperature?
Yeah.
And then this woman walks over and she sticks a bucket in the water right by the bench and scoops water out. And then you can see her like pouring water into different containers. And then I went over and asked her, I said, are you a scientist? And she said, yeah, I work for the water environmental department. And she said that they check the water there about once a month. And she took it and she said it was 7.3, and she said, yeah, it's warmer than what it was last year. I didn't discuss Nikki with her or anything like that. But she just explained that she takes a sample once a month.
Yeah, this is actually a picture of her taking the temperature.
Oh, that's her down there, isn't it? Yeah.
But the way she walked down, she didn't walk down cautiously. She just strolled down to the river, didn't slip, nothing.
She just like had a pair of combat trousers on, didn't she? And she just like went down and she got the sample. She was really, really nice, bless her heart. She was a lovely lady.
Yeah.
She was explaining it to me, like, because they take the samples away because they check the content of the water as well. I think they do test the water for probably nitrates and things like that, or any pollution in the water.
Yeah. But you can see how high the river is there because you see the tree behind her. Remember on one of our videos last year, I was actually stood here I'm pointing at my screen saying here, and you can't see me. I was stood in those trees by the river. So
yeah, and it was a sheer drop down, wasn't it?
And when we was there, it was literally underwater. So it was really high. There was a lot of rain there that day, though, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's
dark. And
the thing that shocked me the most was the weir and not being able to see the weir. Yeah. That was because we've been there. That was the third visit, and we've always been able to see the weir, and that's the first time I've ever been there, and I'm not being able to see the weir. But I know from footage that Curtis Media took around the time that Nikki was missing that the weir was visible, wasn't it, in his footage?
But it was so strange.
We know the water level was lower.
Yeah, it was so strange not being able, like, you're stood there where you know the weir is, and you just feel so like you don't know where you are along that river, because normally the weir is the focal point, right, am I the weir? But you couldn't see it, so I just felt so weird when I was stood there. You couldn't see this weir.
Because we only knew where the weir was supposed to be because there's like a little building, there's a little hut on one of the sides. So we knew that that's where the weir was, so it should be, but it just looked like completely flat. You just didn't know there was a weir under there. So that was really unexpected. Have we got a picture of where the weir?
Not flooded. I need to get that up.
Probably hard to find because it all just blends in with the river, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's crazy how, like, we were there and then we couldn't see the weir. Then we could see it and it was very clear. And then later on, there must have been it wasn't raining where we were, but there must have been raining up in the mountains, and the weir disappeared again. And it all happened within about a couple of hours.
Yeah, it wasn't long, was it?
No, because like we got there, we went for a mooch around, and we like let my dogs have a walk and everything, and then we were heading back, and then we looked at the weir and we're like, oh my god, the weir's disappearing again. It was really, really random. But I've seen photographs of that river where it's got so high, it's actually up to the walking bridge.
Right, I've got a picture of the weir completely submerged with water. But I just want to say this while I remember. When we was there, I think it's before you arrived, Jen. Another couple had arrived and they was walking around. They had put some flowers on the bench, some daffodils. They tied it to the back of the bench with cable tie. We went and I think we come to meet you, and by the time we got back to the bench, someone had removed those flowers.
I remember you saying, because you said, oh, somebody's left flowers on the bench, and then we got to the bench and they were gone, weren't they?
Yeah, someone had removed them off the bench, and I thought that was very strange. Why remove some flowers off the bench?
That was, I thought that was really odd as well. I don't know if somebody's moved them and relocated them at the grave site or something like that, but it was really, really bizarre. You think that just out of respect on the anniversary, you just let people leave flowers or whatever wherever they like. We put the flowers in the water, and they all floated upstream. They didn't go down the stream. They went upstream.
They actually got stuck in that tree.
Remember that?
Only one floated away. The rest were stuck by the tree, and they were still there the next day. True finders have any safety
we threw them, and they went backwards up the river. Is it called an ebby flow? So it flows the opposite way. But because when it was at its highest, you could actually see a kind of like whirlpool effect in 3 different areas. So there is a current in that water when it's really, really high, but the water level was a lot higher this year than what it was last year.
Yeah. There's no safety measures has been put in place around the bench or anywhere along
the
river, which is shocking.
And yet you had a load of life-saving equipment for a little pond near where you were staying, didn't you? There was loads of stuff there, and then where they're saying there's this dangerous river, and they haven't got any rings or ropes or anything in case of emergencies.
No, exactly. Patterdale, literally there was a bunch of flowers that was left there a little bit later, and they was still there when we returned before we went back. But yeah, I just found it so strange that those flowers had been removed. So this here is the weir completely submerged with water. You can't see it.
That's it there, isn't it? Because there's the on the right hand side, there's actually like some little steps that take you down, and there's a building. Not on your left, sorry, on your right. There's a building, isn't there? And I think that's the new where they check all the water. I think that's the office that they use. So I'm just going to mute because my children are being really noisy in the background.
Okay. Charlotte, I threw a white rose in front of the bench last February. 40 minutes later, after the walk, I came back and the rose was still there circling around. Yeah, we done the log challenge as well while we was there, because the water was higher and the river was flowing a lot faster. We thought, we'd do the log challenge. So we threw a log in, and again it floated to the left and got stuck in that tree where the flowers got stuck. It did come loose after a while, but even like throwing the log out further into the middle of the river, it still floated to the left towards the trees.
This is our log.
And that's the log there, but next to the bench. That's what we threw in.
Christmas.
So yeah, it's even though the river was very flooded, and moving quite fast, it all still floated to the left before it floated to the right towards the weir. Does that make sense? Do you know which way?
Yeah, everything floated to the left, didn't it? And the route of the water, it should have turned right, shouldn't it? But it was weird, wasn't it?
Yep. No, it was.
Sorry, I just have to mute myself again. My children are being really naughty.
But the other thing I noticed about the documentary last night, you know, they showed the bit after the inquest where they was doing the statement from the family. They were saying about like Nikki was always in their thoughts and their hearts. They cut it off before she mentioned about how the media had contacted the family when they found Nikki's body in the river. When they was trying to process that, they did actually say that. Yvonne, there's a hat. The man in black in the photo here. Oh, don't. But yeah, we saw quite a lot of locals walking around. You did get the look from people as you was walking past and stuff like that. Even though we was walking the dogs around ourselves, they could tell that we wasn't local. I just found every time that we walked past someone, I would keep quiet because I've got a very southern accent, so I wouldn't talk. But yeah, as we literally, the first day we arrived, we was walking down the towpath, and we was all talking and looking at the river, and I looked up, and straight away I saw Christine Bowman. I was like, Joe. And like she turned around, so Christine Bowman walked past us up the towpath, and we walked down to the field, and we turned round and she was following us down to the field. So we just carried on walking, like trying not to look behind us. And we got into the field, and we walked around the field, and we turned round. She was stood at the gate looking into the fields. And then
I had a little chat with Christine, though, didn't I? Because we've got the dogs. We've both got white dogs, and we were just talking about how they leave white fluff everywhere.
Yes. So she says Christine Bowman is the woman in the red jacket that was on the CCTV. So
I thought she was really nice,
out, wasn't we? Yeah, we was walking out, and it was in the afternoon, and she appeared again, and we literally, because we had the dogs, they interacted, and you spoke to her, didn't you? Because the white dogs, and she said she was very nice. Actually, she was saying that she had lived there for 40 years. She's got the white dog. She thought the white dog would be better because she doesn't molt so much, but she can't wear black, can she?
Yeah, she was saying she loves to wear black, but she can't wear black because she gets white fluff all over her, the same as I do, because I've got two white dogs as well, and they molt. Not this time of year, but in the summer is terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was saying, "Oh, I love to wear black," but she was just like a genuine, lovely lady. Just you know, we made a point of not speaking to the locals about what happened to Nick. We just sort of, you know, we were just there to pay our respects, and you know, if a person mentioned anything to us, you know, we got talking to some people at search for Nikki, and that they were telling us about it, but like we didn't bring it up with them, did we?
No,
just thought we're not there to dig, you know, and find out information off people.
Yeah,
we didn't see Penny or any of her people, did we?
No, she didn't appear. The weatherman, yeah, we did. We saw PC Higgs. He run past us. We just said hello to him because we made a joke about his son's scooter going across the bridge sounded like a train.
But it's just people in the natural village, isn't it? And we were just out with our own kids, you know, and the dogs just, you know, doing stuff, and we were having a catch up as well, weren't we? So
yeah.
But we didn't think it was appropriate to sort of go and start asking people any questions or anything. We didn't do that.
Yeah, and we went to the garage, didn't we? Got a coffee to warm ourselves up.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the nicest coffee there. Oh.
Yeah, had a nice chat with him. Not like we just said that we was following the case.
Yeah. I told him. I said we're here, because it's the anniversary of Nikki, and I think he said it's just really, really sad what's happened, and you know. And we just said we've got to go and put the flowers on the grave and everything, and he was just like sympathetic to the whole family and stuff. But
yep.
Nobody wanted to talk about what happened, and we didn't expect them to either. Really, I think it was just we were there for us, weren't we? More than anything.
Yeah.
Pass on the respect.
This is quickly before the other one appears up. This is a panoramic view. We'd have to zoom in a little bit. So you could see the caravan park is on the right, where those hedges are. It looked clearer on the phone. Jess, there was quite a lot of flowers on the grave, actually. It was quite nice to see.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, she was very well loved, you can tell. And even though we didn't know Nikki, but we feel like we did. And we just wanted to sort of leave something for her, you know, just out of respect, you know, because we were just to let her know that we're thinking of her on, you know, wherever she is now.
Yeah, PC Higgs, it was in the inquest that his dash cam caught Nikki's car, parked in the school car park. Not sure whether it was him at the welfare check, though. That's not been mentioned who it was that went there.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any names for the welfare.
No.
We've got the one person that spoke, haven't we? The lady.
Why didn't Penny look in the river? Exactly. This is what I can't understand. That's the first place.
That would be the obvious thing.
Yeah. Especially if you find
if you found the dog on the phone, you'd look in the river. That would just be natural, wouldn't it? Instinctively check the river, wouldn't you?
Yeah. This photo here is the panoramic view as you're walking up round Hughes towards the bench. Just going to get zoomed in a little bit because it's quite far away at the moment. And hopefully you'll be able to see how clear you can actually see everything.
Get it all in there, don't you?
Yeah. Because doing the panoramic, it kind of minimises the picture. But if we could hopefully be able to zoom in so you can actually see how clearly you can see everything. Does the phone still ring if you're still connected to a works call? I don't know, actually. Probably. It'll be like when you're on a video chat with someone. The phone will still ring. It will just turn your camera off, wouldn't it? Which the camera was off anyway. So can you see now on this picture? You could see some people standing by the bench. You can clearly see the drop down into the river.
It's really dangerous going over that stile. Like, I really, you know, I didn't go over the stile because I couldn't make it over there because I've got a bad back, and I was just like, no, it's an accident waiting to happen with me.
And it's falling apart. Even I struggle.
It really is a rickety old bent
Yeah.
rail, isn't it? It's really bad.
So here you can see how much of the river you can see as you're walking around. You can see the point of entry that they said they believe Nikki fell in.
Yeah, they didn't tell us. The inquest, they didn't give us the names of everyone that attended. We know there was a trainee medic, and then a qualified medic, and a police officer. And the police officer and the trainee medic were left the bedroom and left the qualified medic to speak to Nikki, because the room felt a bit overcrowded with people. So I think it was just the medic and Nikki just had to chat on their own. So, but we don't know the name of the police officer, do we?
No. Thanks for that, Danvers. I'm not really clued up on Teams calls, to be honest. I think we should set a Teams call up so we can test all this.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand.
We do kind of Teams call using WhatsApp, don't we?
Yeah.
When there's a few of us talking. We've got Eddie in New Zealand talking sometimes, don't we? And
Neil, if the dog lead was
Eddie, if you're listening,
head, then why would you... No, the dog lead was still attached to the harness. I don't know if you remember from our inquest live before Christmas. It was mentioned that when they went and put the harness on Willow, they went to walk away, but Willow wouldn't move. And then when Willow turned round, they noticed the lead was hanging down the right side of Willow. So the lead was always attached to the harness.
Yeah, so they attach it. They've put the harness on with the lead still attached to the dog, which I don't understand how you can attach a harness to a dog and not notice the lead being attached.
Yeah, especially a retractable lead, because they are quite heavy.
Yeah,
I always hit myself with my one when I had the dog.
Yeah, and they all weigh about the same. Those retractable leads, and I don't like them personally because they kind of because we've got two dogs, they get tangled up really easily, and or they wrap it around you when you're walking. I end up like missing the beam and tripping over.
Yeah, you're fun. The dog lead was on the harness, yeah, but it definitely wasn't attached to Willow at the time.
Yeah. But so all Willow was wearing when she was running was she had a leather collar on, didn't she, with that metallic disc that had the vet's phone number on, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was. But yeah, it's we have got lots of images that we need to go through and put them on, because when we got back from St Michael's, it's just been full on since then, so I haven't had time to go through it all. But I'm hoping we've got a lot of angles of footage and stuff to help everyone see clearly, like what you would see as you go somewhere, as you're walking. And how much and I tell you what, one thing we did actually see, notice, as we was walking around, you can actually see, because it's all clear, there's no leaves on the trees or nothing, like no grass, no flowers. The caravan park can see everywhere.
Oh yeah, that they've got like bird's eye view of every part of that field and river and everything, that all the way from when you're walking along the pathway to the river, from there all the way around when people are in the fields. That's just like smack bang in the middle of it all. And then did PC Higgs hear the woman scream? He's not on record to hear the woman scream, but he was with the lady who gave evidence saying she heard the scream.
Yeah, where she was in the same area as him, wasn't she?
She was
He was
with
at
him in the same
yeah.
building, so we don't know if he actually heard it physically himself.
No, it's never been mentioned, has it?
Yeah, but they made a heart out of the floating candles there because, oh my gosh, the wind kept catching them. How hard was that? My
I know.
daughters did that, Nikki,
I had
didn't
this
they?
really nice thought in my head. You know, we would set the candles up in the river, let them float off, and I'll get the drone up and get a really nice image of it. All these candles floating down the river, and the wind just did not let us do it. The drone was just weaving to and fro, the left to right. I was so scared the drone was going to go in the river.
Couldn't go high enough, was it? Because the wind kept catching the drone. So,
and then the candles just kept going out every time that we lit them, and in the end we just aborted that mission, went to the bench and lit them there. So we still done something nice, but yeah, I was really hoping.
We were all sort of crowding round, trying to get them in place and lit at the same time. It was just a scurry when it wasn't windy, and then grab a photograph. But
yeah.
and then we when we lit them all, it just for the moment it was just there was no wind, and you said thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, I just
Remember
said,
that?
we just said, come on, Nikki, let us have 2 minutes of no wind, and it just eased, did it? And we managed to get the picture, which was nice. But
it was lovely, yeah, it was.
Yeah, when we was lighting that, we was like, obviously all gathered round trying to get these candles lit. Then Joe slipped.
That was a really nasty fall. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for Joe.
And like we said, it's not as horrible as it was that she hurt herself. It showed that she didn't slip down any further. She still stayed where she was.
Yeah, you wouldn't slip. You wouldn't slip by there and end up in the water, because I had a wobble. I did slip because I had to sort of grab hold of my daughter, and then my daughter later on, she had a little slip as well, and then Joe proper really hit the deck, didn't she?
Yeah.
Bless her.
But
it was
fall down.
The gravestone's beautiful as well, isn't it? It's nice having getting to see that as well.
Yeah, it was like we made sure we went to the graveyard later on in the evening.
We didn't want to go that way.
We didn't want to bump into anyone, so we
didn't want to intrude with the family, did we?
So we made sure we done that quite later on in the evening, just to
Yvonne, it did feel quite spiritual.
Yeah, it was.
I always feel spiritual there when we were there in the what was it, June, wasn't it? We were there in the summer.
Yeah,
and it was and a butterfly landed on us, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely, go there in the summer. If you ever go there in the summer, because it's breathtaking. It's natural beauty. There's just all sorts of flowers around there, and it's a stunning place. And
that angel cloud that was above the
spiritually aware.
Yeah, that angel cloud that was above the inquest as well on the last day.
Yeah, that was so we're in Preston, and just above the courts where the court was being held, this big angel cloud appeared in the sky, and we've got a photograph of it. It doesn't really do it justice, because it was just we all looked up, didn't we, and saw it, and my daughter clicked a picture of it, and it's you just see the big wings, and it had a shimmer effect, didn't it, on the wings? Yeah. It was crazy. Because that would be all our family would have been there in that building. all friends, everyone who loved her were there.
You trying to put well in? She keeps put selling.
Are we making Yvonne cry? Sorry.
She's put I'm selling up with tears now, but then she tried to write it again and it's still come up as selling. Sorry, Yvonne. Oh, that made me laugh. But yeah, it was.
It's just when you think of the family, isn't it? I always get really sad, because I've been through something similar. I lost my partner, and I had to go and tell my kids that the dad wasn't here anymore, and that's the worst thing in the world to have to do. And we're living with the repercussions of that every single day of him not being here, and the what ifs if he was here, how life for us all would be so different, because that he was the dad, and he was that second parent, and I miss him, because he used to make me laugh, and he was my little rock, because he could pick up on my mood straight away. If I was stressing, he'd be like, he'd just sit down, he'd get me a glass of wine, and he'd be like, right, I know you're stressed, chill out, and he knew about exactly what to do. And I miss him. I do, I miss him. And
Selena, we did see them. We saw them.
So great.
We was on our way to the bench in the field and stuff, and we walked past the church, and the family was coming out. They had just been to the graveyard, so we did see them all. I didn't look. I just walked past because I just felt like that was an intimate moment for them.
He looked at me and Joe, and so we just mouthed higher to him and carried on walking.
Yeah, and they saw that we had flowers in our hands, so they gave us a smile. You were saying, didn't you? So
Andy was crying. And Dad was crying.
Yeah, and the dad was crying. So it was, we was trying to not see anyone, but at the same time, we pretty much saw so many people this time. But
I think
it was.
We went as late as we could. We went away during in the middle of the day. We went away, didn't we? Because that would have been like prime time for everyone going to church and everything, and doing the stuff. And so we just stayed out the area because we just wanted to give them space.
Yeah. Nick, all of them was PA and Nikki's family, mum, dad, sister, and sister's partners. It was, it hit home seeing them, to be honest. As we was walking up, I could just see Nikki's dad.
The first anniversary is the worst.
Yeah, as I saw Nikki's dad, I just literally just looked forward and just carried on walking. And you and Joe was behind me, weren't you?
Yeah, we were walking behind, and then we just.
I couldn't help myself to interact with
them. Joe says she could help herself to look, but it was nice that they just gave us a smile because they saw the flowers, so they knew that we was on our way to go and pay respect to Nikki's. But we do have quite a few footage and images, so we will sort that out for you.
We went there on behalf of ourselves and the channel and everything, because it's obviously been something that's been on our minds for the past year, isn't it? It's affected our lives, being honest, it really has, and we've put a lot of thought into what's happened. So we thought, just to us personally, we just felt it was important to us to do that.
Bad Fairy, poor Paul was seen crying his eyes out by the headstone. Who by? Oh. I haven't seen anything about that.
We when we seen him, he was by the front of the church, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it was.
The first anniversary is hard, and my partner got cremated, and we don't have a headstone for him, and we all get together as a family. I get together with his mum and dad and his siblings, and we do, get together and remember him. But I go to the seaside near where he passed, near the hospital he was in, and that's where I go with my girls. And we've got our spot where we go to remember their dad, and that's where I think they'll always go when they're grown up as well. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it, right by the sea, and we just throw some roses in the sea for him, and we will say the Lord's Prayer. I said the Lord's Prayer for Nikki, didn't I, as well?
Yeah. Julie.
I'm not a Bible basher or anything. Don't go to church, and I'm not dismissing anyone that does. But I've got my own faith. I do believe in God, and I do believe that people move on, and they go somewhere. They go to heaven or whatever. I don't necessarily know if it's heaven, but they move up, and and I think they look down on all their loved ones, and that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Julie, she'll be looking down on her daughters.
Yeah, we didn't see the daughters, but they was all how they was all standing. It was hard to see because obviously they're a lot smaller. Bad Fairy, if you remember the name, let us know, please.
Oh, St. Ives is beautiful. Is that in Cornwall? I was there on holiday. That's a lovely place to go.
But yeah, no, it was lovely load of flowers on the graveyard or gravestone and grave. So it was nice to see that because I was worried that there wouldn't be much there, to be honest, with them people worrying about going to see her on the anniversary.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of there would have been all the neighbours because she'd lived there for a long time, and was clearly loved and had a lot of friends there and stuff, and it was reflected definitely. There was lots and lots of flowers there for her, and you could sense the emotion, couldn't you?
Yeah, no, you could.
Yeah, Jess, I don't know if Paul would move to the US. If it were me, I'd move somewhere private. I don't know about moving abroad because I think you might need the support of people like grandparents and aunties and stuff like that. So he might just move somewhere else in the UK where he can see his family. And but I know he works for a company in the US, doesn't he?
Nick's just asked, Truth Finder, serious question. What's the truth you're seeking if the partner and sister are innocent? ? Another third party. Yeah. I believe there was some sort of altercation somewhere on that field. Purely because of the changing stories, the moved in timeline, a lot of discrepancies that we've come across since doing the inquest. So I believe that something happened by the bench. I don't believe it was on purpose. I believe it could have been an accident.
Yeah,
but it still doesn't.
I've got two theories. I've got a theory of it's either something altercation like that, and it's been accidental, or it's been a planned thing because Nikki did that routine like clockwork. It could have been something a bit more malicious because when you're there and you realise how high the riverbank is, it's like it's got big mounds surrounding it, so you could be like lower down on the other side of the riverbank and not actually in the water, and you wouldn't be seen by anyone. You're not visible. So
being there this time of year and seeing how much of the river you could see, seeing you know, how much of the field and by the bench you can see, it kind of, to me, even more now that all of this has been covered up, because someone's time of when they left the property and walked around, and how long it took to walk via the weir round to the stile, they were saying it took 15 minutes. I timed that walk, and I wasn't walking fast. I was walking normal speed. I kept stopping like every now and then, you know, to reenact a dog having a wee and a sniff and stuff like that. It took me 5 minutes 58 seconds.
Yeah. So actually, like time the walk that it would take, and you know, quite conservatively as well, wasn't it? You know, and you know, it just doesn't add up. It really doesn't add up. A lot of the changes that have been made, you know, because I think, and I don't know about how everyone else feels, but when there's been something very different happen, like for instance, you know, like the day my partner got ill, I'll never forget that day, and I can remember all the details. I won't talk about them all now because it upsets me, but I can remember it all, and I don't think I'll ever forget that. And I think if I was in a situation where I came across somebody like Nikki and they'd gone missing, and I was one of the people that discovered her, I don't think I'd forget times. I'd be very, it would stick in your memory very clearly, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd know exactly what you did. And I don't think as well that if something like that happened near my business, I would go just to an appointment. I think I'd phone up and cancel an appointment and make sure that I sorted out the you know, the problem that was happening near my business. I'd make sure I stayed, and I, you know, that's part of my personality maybe, but I'd have to make sure that everyone was okay.
Yeah. Nick's just said, like, why no CC? See, this is where it's frustrating for me, because we've seen that there's CCTV at the school from our reconstruction last year. There's CCTV at Roundwater, and the CCTV at the caravan park apparently was working because it captured a certain person leaving the property. So there would have been at least one CCTV that should have captured Nikki. And if there is, they should have released it, because the way that they're being, like how the police were being regarding all of this investigation, they've been so secretive. And if they wasn't secretive about it and they was honest from the beginning, it would have stopped a lot of this speculation. So I personally believe that it was Nikki in the field. I know there's a lot of people saying they don't believe it was her and stuff like that. But I believe it was her in the field. Where it happened in the field, I'm kind of in between the bench and the hedgerow, which is just past the brick building.
What you don't realise from the camera is as well, right, the brick building has got a massive sheer drop, a big steep bank down to the river. So say if somebody were to fall there, you would end up in the water.
I think I've got a photo.
But it's wide, isn't it? It is a defined walkway. So I think your chances of actually just, you know, toppling down there, you know, are low, especially if you know that area and you walk in it all the time. I don't think she just fell in. I'm not having that.
But like I said, from the very beginning, if you remember, they reported that the phone had stopped by the red brick building for 10 minutes. Then the phone made its way to the bench.
They had little legs and
Yeah.
There's
So
little imagery of a phone walking, isn't there?
yeah. So those 10 minutes where the phone didn't move from the red brick building area to the bench, something could have happened there.
10 minutes is a long time.
Hmm?
10 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, and 10 minutes is a long time. Like I said before, if you're out on a walk, put a timer on and stand there for 10 minutes, and it will make you realise how long that 10 minutes is.
So that's got to be a conversation or an altercation or something that's happened there. And we know that she was using a phone because she was on a works call. So I don't think she could have been on the phone to someone. Well, it would have shown in the call history if she was on the phone to someone else. So if she's not been on the phone, so that means it's been someone external, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. I've sent you those images.
It just doesn't add up. And you sometimes you think maybe she just fell in, you know, sometimes you're like, maybe that's the truth, but then you're just like, no, because when you look at all the details as we have, it just doesn't make sense for her to do that. None of it makes sense.
Julie, the only reason why I'm saying I believe it was Nikki in the field, because she obviously did take the kids to school, because the kids would say, you know what kids are like, come on, they would say, well, Mum didn't take us to school that day. So
my kids, I've got two daughters who are a little bit older, and you know, my youngest was the same age as Nikki's eldest when Nikki went missing, and my youngest can clearly and vividly remember everything that happened when her dad's, you know, got ill. So that would be the same for Nikki's kids. They would remember if it was like somebody else who drove them to school. They'd know if it was, well, dad drove us in, or, you know, a neighbour drove us in that day. They'd know, and they talk to teachers about stuff like that as well.
Yeah, so this is the slope down. It doesn't actually look that steep in this photo, but here is a lot steeper than by the bench.
So can you see how steep that is going into that water? It's wide.
Yeah.
It's very wide. You can get through, you know, you can walk, you know, 2 or 3 abreast walking past. You know, but if you did lose your balance, you know, if you did actually go tumbling down that bankment, you're likely to fall in that water.
Yeah, there was someone there fishing when we was there. It's not the guy that you all know of on YouTube, but it was another guy, and he was walking to another location along here, and you could see he was actually, you know, when you're walking on something steep, you're leaning to the side. You could see he was walking like that.
Yeah, he was fishing like literally just this side of the brick building, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was there for about half an hour, and then they moved on somewhere else.
But yeah, it was you know, it's hard, even looking at these pictures now, it still does not give you the reality of when you're there.
Yeah. This is the whole thing, by the way. It's when you get, like, you know, it's small, and you know, you get the initial thing I found was it's a lot smaller in the area than what it looked like on the telly.
Yeah.
But then when there's a drop down in the river, it you know, they can be actually like more vast than what they look like on the telly as well.
Julie Dawn, Nicola could have taken the girls to school, but no evidence she was in that field, just a phone and a dog. That's true. That is true. But me being in my mind, you know, you've got the school, So if anything had happened before Nikki got to the field, there would be a lot more witnesses in my eyes. Just be
There
trying to be a bit more
was
logical on that.
there was a witness who actually spoke to Nikki at school in the morning. There was a lady who was I think her little boy petted Willow.
That was in the car park.
And that happened outside the school, didn't it?
To go
so there
in
was
there
an
would take something
eyewitness
unusual and
Nikki and
even
spoke to Nikki that morning at school. There was another one as well, wasn't there, who said that she seems okay, but she seemed like okay every day, like neither happy nor sad type thing.
Yeah. 14 to go.
If you look at two, the witnesses, we go into detail on the witnesses that were seen.
Hi, Amy. 14 to go in would take something unusual, and even then you'll splash around and stand and clamber out. You just would, cold water or not, something yet to expose happening that morning. Clambering out, I will say, would be difficult. It is quite a drop from the river edge into the river. It's not easy to clamber out.
I wouldn't say it's impossible. I think
No.
if you knew that part of the river, well, if that was somewhere that you went, I think you would probably know where's best to get out type of thing, because
but
you
round
might
by
sort
the
of
bench area, you wouldn't be able to climb out. It's hard, but you would be able to stand there with your feet in cold water and your bottom half of your legs in water and wait for someone to come along.
And she had that big long coat on, and the first thing anyone needs to do if they're in that situation is any heavy coats, remove it. It's not going to keep you warm if you're submerged in water. Strip it off, get it off. But there was we found a jacket, didn't we, in the water?
Yeah, and it's still there. That jacket that we found last year, it's still there at that location.
I recovered that second time.
And that is a Nike one, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's after contacting the police about that. It was still there. Nick, so to be clear, you ladies don't think Paul and Louise's behaviour is suspicious? To be honest, Paul's behaviour, how he was, I will say I did find it strange. I'm not going to lie about that.
It's really hard, right, to say how a person is supposed to react when they go under stress like that. I don't know if it were me. Like, obviously, my situation was completely different, and if I thought that my safety of my kids and I thought they were in the river, I'd go in, get a wetsuit, and I'd be physically going in that water myself.
Yeah.
And I know the police would be saying, no, don't, and I'd just be like, look, get out of my way, and I'd have to do that. But that's just the sort of person I am.
Yeah. No, I'd be the same. I'm not saying his behaviour is not strange. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I've always said that I honestly believe from the welfare check, what's been said, and Paul's behaviour, I do believe that Nikki was going to be leaving Paul.
Yeah, it's hard to know, isn't it? Really, because what the welfare check does sounds alarm bells, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki didn't go into any detail when the people came. She just said that she didn't want to be there. She wanted to go to bed. She wanted to go to sleep and just be on her own, didn't she?
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
time is it?
that's how they read it anyway.
Yeah.
But
Right,
they were cross because she said, "I don't want to be here right now."
Yeah. Right, we've been live hour and 40 minutes, so I think that'd probably be it for tonight.
Yeah.
We do need to get some stuff. We've got so much more to go through. But a couple of things I just want to pick up on.
14. Sorry, just seen 14's comment then. If it were me and I was in that river fighting for my life, I would be screaming my head off because I'd be doing everything. You know, if you can't physically get out that water, you just makes big noise, splash around. But I suppose that the element is shock. I suppose though, if you're not expecting it to happen. And I suppose if she's inhaled water, but I don't believe that happened. I don't think it happened the way they said it happened in the inquest.
No, we don't believe she fell in.
And you would be fighting for your life. You'd be screaming. Yeah, I'd be, just. But the thing is that I'm trained in lifesaving. I know I take my clothes, not all my clothes off. So as much clothing off as I could and float on my back until I, compose myself enough and then look for the best exit out that water.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. Anyway, get on your back, take a deep breath in and inflate your lungs and then you'll float on your back and you'll be freezing. But you won't be getting dragged down by clothes and then you'd have a little bit of time to think about how you're going to get yourself out the water.
No, exactly. Or everything you're saying, like in the guys in chat, it's all plausible, really is. But we will be covering more of this. So there's just a couple of things I wanted to pick up on, obviously, because we haven't been live since New Year's. We was watching someone earlier and they were saying that they want proof that we have the inquest again, and think we should leak it and stuff like that. So I'm just going to clarify some of this. So we are not allowed to share or leak this inquest. If we done that, we would be in a lot of trouble. So for
I think going to jail, trouble.
Yeah. So people saying they want us to leak it to believe that we have this inquest. We are not going to do that. We are not going to put ourselves in trouble just so you all can believe us. We have given you the emails. We have showed you the payments to prove that we paid the coroner the £200. We have showed you the email that come from the coroner, his receptionist lady. We have showed you that email with the inquest recording attached to it. So that should be good enough to prove that we have this inquest. We are not going to leak it because we are not going to put ourselves into trouble.
It's just at the end of the day that it's easy for someone to say, "Oh, go on then, prove it and play it." That's what I do, but it's not. The person that's saying that's not a parent. If we were to do that and end up, going to jail, we've got what was happening to our kids and everything. We're not going to do it just to impress people who, in the whole greater scheme of things, don't really matter to us. I don't really care what the person thinks of us, if they believe us or not. But at the end of the day, they know we've been to the coroner's inquest. They, we have shown receipts. And that's it really, is that and we're going to come out with the last part of it as well, which it is a lot for us to do because we do have to transcribe it and then we have to paraphrase it because we can't talk about it directly as it says. It's quite difficult to do, but we'll be doing that as soon as we can. The other issue as well is another person on YouTube as well asks, how do you prove you're a proper person? Now, the person that's asking this is from Spain. Now, a proper person is quite easy to prove. If you register on the electoral register, if you've got bank statements registered to the UK, if you've got utility bills registered to the UK, if you've got a UK passport, that will all be absolutely sufficient in proving to a coroner that you are a proper person. It's not rocket science. But we're getting criticised for loads of stuff.
But
It's just ridiculous, really.
We've created this YouTube page because we wanted to get the truth out there to you all.
Yeah, Donna, they didn't play the 999 call at the inquest. I'm sorry, love. They did. We wish they did. They didn't play that. It was Paul that phoned 999 from his car, wasn't it?
Yeah, as he left the house. They said what time the 999 call was, but they didn't play any audio. They didn't play any show any CCTV footage at all. So
no,
it's all just them. You've got to take their word for it.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff missing from there, really, that it would be really interesting to see. They didn't Jason Rothwell found Nicky. They didn't read his statement. We know he gave a statement and he didn't read that, so there was a lot of stuff missing from there that I was expected to have been read out, but it wasn't, because even if a person's absent, they can still read out the statement. Or as PF did, she did it remotely, didn't she? She was at home and she did a video call into the courts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you might be able to get the 999 call from a Freedom of Information.
I have heard people try to, but it's been denied.
Yeah. Again, it's like, if you don't live in the UK, it's more difficult to get hold of information because they can't verify you. And to be honest with you, the coroner as well is going to be busy with other cases, and he's he won't have enough time to go answering all the queries. He's got Nicky's case, which is really, really high profile, and I was putting myself in their shoes sometimes and think I wouldn't be bothering with people outside the UK if I was doing his job, not unless they were directly involved in the case. Who phoned Jason Rothwell?
These lot are having me in fits of laughter.
I don't think anyone phoned Jason Rothwell. He said he had a call in, just a feeling to go there that day. But that's what he said. But he made a statement, but he just said he confirmed that the photographs were him and that he'd found her, but then he said everything will be revealed in the statement that I've made for the coroner, but then the coroner didn't read the statement out. That's my understanding of it anyway. But even the police officers that recovered Nicky, none of them made a statement either, did they?
14, just a question. If there was one piece of information you'd like to obtain from the authorities, what would it be? Is there one specific, I can never say that word, thing that would expose what's gone on? That's a good one, 14. I might have to
New Brunswick, Spainy thinks that Peter Falding is the Antichrist. She talks about him far too much. She's become a little bit obsessive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's bad. Peter Falding, I've never met Peter Falding in person, but I really respect what he's done and I've read his book. I was so shocked when he turned around and he said that Nicky wasn't he found Nikki in the river after 6 minutes. That was a game changer, because I thought she's not in the water. She wasn't in there.
Yeah, I
So
did.
that was. I was shocked. We were like, could have knocked us over with a feather that day.
Yeah,
But
I
then
was
when
exactly
he
the
understood
same.
his reasoning, why he couldn't talk about it,
Yeah.
I do understand that as well. So I'm just hoping he comes up with some stuff in the near future, and gives us some clarification.
Well, he did.
You
He
met him,
posted.
didn't you, Michelle?
Yeah, he posted something on his Facebook today. Let me just find it. He posted Laura's from Crime Analyst, her latest part 4, and someone did ask him in the comments, was there a reason why he declined to be on the documentary? And he said he declined because he wants the truth to be told. The target was not tree branches. The truth is now coming out. This is what everyone's been waiting for, and justice for Nikki and her family.
Yeah, so he's just in the process now, isn't he, of getting everything verified from the manufacturers of the sonar in the US, and usually with Peter you don't hear anything, and then he drops a bombshell, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That seems to be Peter's style.
Yeah. So the word from Peter Fordin is just watch this space now.
But yeah, it's been a big shock. But I think that he's had so much hate of it out there, and he was trying to help the situation. He was out there searching, wasn't he? And I don't think he deserves all the crap he's getting, because Lancashire police weren't, they hadn't found Nikki. They weren't making any headway, and he volunteered to go out there for free. And then all of a sudden, he's just become this hitman. Everyone's blaming him for that.
Yeah.
I don't
Amy,
think
what he means by that is that it's all going to start unraveling, I believe. I'm hoping after Laura's video last night, it's a turning point.
You'll get some of the experts who designs that sonar equipment to review the footage in full, like the live moving footage, and they're the experts, and he'll get them to write a report and explain it all, and then that's going to be a bit of a sort of mic drop moment, I think.
Yeah. 14, I've just
That's
thought
how
of
he
one
tends
thing.
to do stuff, isn't it?
I would love to get from the inquest if we was able to see it. I would love to see the CCTV footage of a certain someone leaving their property and what time it was.
Oh yes, yeah. I'd love to see all the CCTV that got discounted from cars and stuff that the police have just said, oh, that's discounted, because that proves if there's no Nikki there where she should be, or that you'd expect to see her. I want to see it all. I want to see it all.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one, but if I could pinpoint one thing that I would like to see, it's that. Only because of the narrative that I'm believing.
They spoke about Thackeray. Did you notice in that documentary though, they didn't name Thackeray when they said it. They just said a police officer met and they played a bit of his footage that when he's going, oh, I'm getting swept away by this river, and it was really shallow.
Yeah.
They
didn't even show that properly though, did they? They just showed little clips of one when he had his feet up in the air. Yeah. And then they showed him floating past some of the reeds behind past the weir.
It was just like literally like moments, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Laura, I've got to say, Laura is amazing. I've got so much respect for Laura. not just for the Nicola Bulley stuff, which is bringing out the anti-stalking law as well, which is needed because stalking is a precursor for a lot of really nasty crimes, murders and assaults. So I back her 110%. I think she's an amazing lady, and it's just she's a very powerful lady, and men can sometimes get intimidated by people like Laura, but I find her, she's girl power on steroids. Sorry, man, I'm not. Oh, I sound like a right feminist there, don't I? But
Yeah.
I think I really respect what she's doing. She's very qualified. Her background's amazing, and that latest video she made was bang on.
Yeah. Shocking revelations there.
Well, she obviously agrees with Peter in terms of that does look like a female figure in the water with the right dimensions.
Yeah, and he measured it, didn't he? And it matched the size of Nikki's height.
Yeah.
So we shall just see what happens now. Hopefully it's the turning point. That's all I hope.
That's what I'm hoping that we get some resolution on this soon, but it probably is quite difficult, because there's not that many specialists there's not that many people who have got the exact same type of sonar that Peter uses, because he's a research and development person when it comes to recovery equipment. So he's basically like a test pilot for it all.
Yep.
So not everyone's got his equipment. So there's not many people that can interpret the sonar data.
Drop our email address in here if anyone wants to contact us with anything. Oh, why's that come up so many times? It's crazy.
Oh, thank you all for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
It's so nice to see everyone on chat, and we're going to come back with part 4. Is it part 3? 3, isn't it? Part 3 of the inquest.
Part 3, yeah. Sorry it's taken so long.
Try and wrap it all up in part 3. So that means that we've got the home visit, then we've got the cold shock scientists.
Yeah, we've got her doctor as well.
Yeah, we've got doctor. Then have we got any more police talking as well? I think we've got police talking about the Fitbits.
Yeah.
And it was the police that analysed the Fitbit data.
Jess, we won't, honestly. It was just after Christmas and New Year. We got poorly, and then we just felt like the time wasn't right. So we just wanted to give some space before and a little bit after Nikki's anniversary. So we will be back sooner. We won't take as long, I promise.
Yeah, we'll get it done. It's
and
it's just hard when you've got kids, isn't it? And like Christmas and kids, and that you've got to take, like, they want to go ice skating or whatever they want to do. Because I always take my kids out, keep an eye on them.
Yeah, we've got family visiting us as well at the moment. Our little nephew's going to be here for the next. Well, he's been here for a week, so the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks. So it's busy at the moment, but we will be finding time, and we will get part 3 done, and then wonder where it's going to go from now.
I think after we've done part 3, I think because we've left it so long, we might have to do a sort of summary at the end to pull it all together again, and then to go through any questions, because there's so much information come up in that, and then we need to tie it together with the COP report as well. And we're not going to go through the COP report. I think there's so many other channels have done that already. I think we don't want to bore you to tears by doing that.
No, the only thing we'll probably do with the COP report is relay it to the inquest, because you know,
we try and marry it up a little bit.
Some of the things that have been said at the inquest still are completely different in the cop report. So if we find something that's been said in the inquest and it's completely different in the cop report, we've highlight that for you to see, but we won't go through it because, to be honest, it's boring.
There's so many other channels have gone through it anyway. I think there's no point in reinventing the wheel, is there, if other people have done that already?
And it's just basically the same stuff with the police praising themselves, which is absolute rubbish.
Because Laura's actually going through the cop report, isn't she? She on Truth Crime Analyst, and she's doing an amazing job. So she's already doing that. And then I know Super Chuck has gone through it as well. You know, so there are some good channels that have gone through it already. So you know, we'll pull out the relevant parts that we feel are relevant, and you know, because there are discrepancies, and you know, we need to sort of share that. You know, again, it's sometimes our opinion, and we're trying not to be opinionated. We're trying to be factual on it all. But I think by the time we get to the end of the inquest, we can then marry it up to the cop report, and then everyone can form their own opinions.
No, exactly. But yeah, so it was nice to be back tonight, guys. Nice to see so many people in chat.
Has anyone got to sleep?
Don't. I think
Remember the other day at home, everyone was saying they fell asleep.
But yeah, no, it's been nice to see you all, guys. And speak
big
to you
ups
all
from
again.
Kane, Jess, and Dave Barry, and
thanks for joining us.
Oh, Good Fairy, you're always Good Fairy to us, and Julie and Neil and New Brunswick, David, Matheson, Nick.
But yeah, if there's anything you guys
1423 is a star.
Yeah, if there's anything you guys want us to highlight and go over about the inquest, just drop us an email, because it helps us know what you guys are after and what you guys want us to go through again. Oh yeah, there's an election coming up.
Amber's just made some really good videos. Go over and have a look at Amber's videos. They are really, really good.
Yeah, there's an election in Lancashire soon for the new what is he? Crime Commissioner. So there's like petitions going on about how he wants to be it again and blah blah blah. So that will be interesting to see play out.
Yeah, that will be.
But yeah, so thanks guys.
But yeah, I just thanks. I just looking through there's like loads of people here, like Jackie and Mittens for Kittens, on Bridget, and on. Just thank you everyone for coming over and watching tonight. And like we'll get the everything wrapped up for you, and then I think once we finish talking about Nikki's case, I'm hoping that's when we'll get some more information from Peter Faldo. That's hopefully how it'll work.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this is the turning point now, and it's all.
I like Peter. I don't want him to. I don't like seeing him getting ridiculed and stuff. And I hope that he's just got something amazing. You know, he can pull out the bag and he's just going to drop that mic, and you know, everything will be explained and it'll all be good, because he does some really good work. You know, he goes and looks for people, and you know, he's got an amazing track record of finding people when they've been missing. So I really do hope that it gets sorted out.
Yes, fingers crossed. So thanks guys, and we will see you again very soon.
Yeah.
Right, have a lovely weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
Oh yeah, that bit. See you later.
Bye.